Hey everyone, this is Michael again, and welcome to the Friday Night Smackdown review. And tonight's Smackdown was from the Performance Center, of course, in Orlando. And before I start the review, news that broke out last night and other news that was released this week. News that was released last night happens to deal with Roman Reigns. So WWE announced that Roman Reigns has pulled out of WrestleMania. So Roman Reigns versus Goldberg is not going to be happening at WrestleMania. According to Pro Wrestling Sheet right here, says that Roman Reigns informed WWE that he didn't feel comfortable wrestling at WrestleMania due to his medical history. Of course, his battle with leukemia, and said that he has been removed from the show. It says Pro Wrestling Sheet has learned Roman Reigns will not be part of the Universal Championship match at WrestleMania as planned. Sources with knowledge of the situation tells us Reigns expressed to WWE that he didn't feel comfortable doing any more of the PC shows during the pandemic, the coronavirus pandemic, because he is immune compromised from his battle with leukemia, and he didn't want to risk his health. And you know what? Even though I'm not a fan of Roman, the character, him outside of the character, I have to say, this was a smart move from Roman. And health comes first, and I'm glad that he decided to inform WWE that he didn't feel comfortable competing at WrestleMania because of the whole pandemic that's happening now. So it says that we're told WWE honored his request, and he will now be replaced by someone else in the match against Goldberg. And ended up saying, though it's unclear who at this time. There was another article that came out that was revealed who's going to be replacing Roman. It's a rumor, but from what I heard, Roman's replacement is going to be Braun Strowman. So it's rumored now. WWE didn't make it official yet, but from what I heard, it's Braun Strowman versus Goldberg is going to be happening at WrestleMania. So, not official yet until WWE, makes it. But Braun Strowman versus Goldberg, who is looking forward to that? Yeah, that's how much I care about that match if it gets announced. So, Roman is not the only one who is not going to be at WrestleMania. And it says right here that according to Wrestling Observer newsletter, multiple unnamed stars were removed from the show due to illness. And also a number of superstars informed WWE that they also didn't feel comfortable working WrestleMania. Says some names are being kept confidential because so few know, but it's been confirmed that multiple towns scheduled for the event either said they were sick, which led to instantly removal from all shows being taped this week, while there were others who didn't feel sick, but had fevers above 100.4 degrees. Says that is WWE's cutoff point for not allowing talent to wrestle. There were also others who, on their own, say they didn't feel comfortable flying into Orlando to work due to the pandemic. So there was talk now that Andrade is not going to be competing at WrestleMania. So it looks like Andrade is also out of WrestleMania. I heard The Miz was rumored saying that The Miz was one of those superstars with 100 degree fever. So they end up sending him home, from what I heard. So it's a possibility that The Miz is also out of WrestleMania. But so that's the news. That's the big news that broke out this week. Also, there was news that Rey Mysterio and Dana Brooke are quarantined. So that was also the other news that broke out this week. And I'm just thinking about this. I'm like, Vince should have postponed WrestleMania. All this is blowing it right back in his face. This is backfiring right back in Vince's face. Because Vince is like, oh yeah, let's have WrestleMania go on. You know, let's not postpone it because I need the money. That's all I care about is the money. You know, this is Vince McMahon, the guy who, when Owen Hart passed away, he died in the ring at Over the Edge 1999. You know, with that happening back then, you would think Vince would, you know, end the show. Unfortunately, he didn't. And the show went on. That shows how much Vince cares. It's absolutely fucking pathetic. This is pathetic. This is Failure Mania. Failure Mania is still going to be taking place next Saturday and Sunday. 2 nights. I'm not even looking forward to WrestleMania. But then, you know, this week, Monday Night Raw, SmackDown, it's going to be the go-home shows for WrestleMania. These shows are pre-taped. So, SmackDown wasn't live tonight. This was a pre-taped show because it didn't say live, you know, under the Fox and WWE logo. WWE has been pre-taping their shows. And SmackDown tonight, the show was insufferable. It was trash, garbage. So what we had tonight? Drew Gulak versus Shinsuke Nakamura. If Drew Gulak ended up winning, Daniel Bryan will get to face Sami Zayn for the Intercontinental Championship at WrestleMania. We had Alexa Bliss versus Asuka. We had another rerun match from WrestleMania 32, Triple H versus Roman Reigns for the title. You all know that Triple H was the champion at that time. And I'm like, why did WWE show this match tonight when WrestleMania 32 is going to be on ESPN this Sunday? Last week, ESPN ran WrestleMania 30. This week, they're going to be running WrestleMania 32 this Sunday, and then the following Sunday, they're going to be broadcasting WrestleMania 35. So I'm like, why did they show this match when WrestleMania 32 is going to be on this Sunday? The full show on ESPN. WWE, once again, being lazy. But let's get on with the SmackDown review. 9 minutes right here into the video. Review starting right here. So let's get on with the review. SmackDown opened up tonight with Sasha Banks, and Bayley coming out. They end up coming into the ring. And they talk about WrestleMania. They end up talking about how special the event is. Special the event is. Not this year. WrestleMania is not going to be special this year. It's a nightmare and a disaster. And they even went on to say that WrestleMania, this year's WrestleMania is a nightmare for them. I don't blame yous. So Bayley went on about how Paige is trying to put her and Sasha against each other. Bayley went on to say that there was no separating them. They're best friends. They're like peanut butter and jelly. And then we had Lacey Evans. Lacey Evans came out. She got in the ring. She ended up taking shots at both Sasha and Bayley. Bayley ends up calling Lacey Evans a loser. Sasha ends up saying that Lacey has a bratty little daughter. And Lacey went on about how she will take care of both Sasha and Bayley at WrestleMania. And so Naomi ends up coming out. Naomi ends up running down to the ring. Sasha and Bayley end up saying that the glow will shine bright at WrestleMania. Oh, well, sorry about that. I got my notes all mixed up. Naomi ended up saying that, saying that, the glow will shine bright at WrestleMania. So Bayley ends up saying this isn't going to be one of those nights where everyone comes and interrupts. Then out came Tamina. Completely forgot Tamina was still employed with the company. That's how long she hasn't even appeared on TV. So Tamina ended up coming out. She ended up saying to the woman, Sasha, Bayley, Lacey Evans, and Naomi, that actions speak louder than words. So Tamina ends up delivering a headbutt to Naomi, and she ends up delivering a super kick to Lacey Evans, which, Lacey Evans' hat that she wore flew when Tamina ended up delivering the super kick to her. Then we saw Sasha and Bayley went after Naomi, but they were working on Naomi in the corner, and they ran into Tamina. Sasha and Bayley, they both exited the ring. They went back up the ramp, and that was basically that. But yeah, that's how pretty much I would describe this whole opening to SmackDown. Yawn. So then we had Drew Gulak versus Shinsuke Nakamura. Which, if Drew Gulak won, Daniel Bryan will get to face Sami Zayn for the Intercontinental Championship at WrestleMania. And the match itself, it was okay match. And we had Nakamura starting off the match. He beat it down on Drew Gulak. Nakamura ended up hitting knees to Gulak. Gulak then unload on Nakamura. And we had Sami Zayn on commentary throughout this match, which Sami Zayn, very entertaining on commentary. Sami Zayn is one of the best things on SmackDown, along with Bray Wyatt. And we had Cesaro end up pulling Nakamura to the outside for safety. And then Daniel Bryan was shown walking over to Gulak. Sami Zayn started yelling at Daniel Bryan. And towards the end of the match, we had Gulak ends up delivering a jackknife cover. And Drew Gulak ended up winning the match. So now Daniel Bryan will get his shot at Sami Zayn for the Intercontinental Championship at WrestleMania. And, Sami Zayn was throwing a fit. He was yelling at the referee. So, there you go. Daniel Bryan's going to get his shot at the Intercontinental Championship against Sami Zayn at WrestleMania. But overall, it was an okay match. And then we saw Dolph Ziggler. Dolph Ziggler was shown backstage. He was talking to, I guess, Mandy Rose on his phone. Otis and Tucker run at Dolph. Officials end up stopping Otis and Tucker from attacking Dolph. Dolph was taunting at Otis, and Otis and Dolph agree to have a match at WrestleMania. And Dolph ends up telling Otis that Mandy will be in his corner. So there you go. We're going to have Otis versus Dolph Ziggler at WrestleMania. I'm like, finally we're going to get the match. But, you know, the other thing is that, you know, we're having this match at WrestleMania. And, you know, the crowd, you know, made, you know, this feud because the crowd was really behind Otis. The fans love Otis, and the crowd is not going to be there to give Otis, you know, that love. To me, this was a awful decision by WWE. This is my reaction to hearing that we're going to be getting Otis versus Dolph Ziggler, you know, without a crowd that could get behind Otis. To me, this is just, yeah, they should have held off on having this match. You know, try to tend to, you know, get a crowd to get behind Otis. But, you know, it's not going to happen, you know, with, you know, a crowd there now. So, yeah, looks like we're going to be getting it. So then after we saw the backstage thing with Dolph Ziggler, Otis, and Tucker, we went to Elias. Poor Elias. He was showing up on the perch of the PC, has guitar in his hand. Elias ended up thanking everyone for allowing him into their homes. And Elias then brought up how Rob Gronkowski, who is the host of WrestleMania, God, please hand me a bucket so I could puke in. He said Rob Gronkowski thought that it would be good for Elias to face Corbin at WrestleMania. And I said this before. Elias versus Corbin does not scream WrestleMania quality match. This is not a WrestleMania match. This is something that you would see at a glorified house show. So Elias ended up saying that he wants Corbin to hear his latest song. So Elias performs the song. The song is about WrestleMania and also Corbin. Boring. Yeah, thank you, Homer. Thank you. Couldn't have said it myself. So then we saw Elias thanking the capacity crowd at the PC. There is no crowd there. And he goes to wrap up his performance. Corbin then attacks Elias from behind. And Elias was shown hanging onto the railing of the perch. And this is the same perch that Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano ended up jumping off on that edition of NXT, which was a few weeks ago, which was cool. So Elias, like I said, was shown hanging onto the rail of the perch. Corbin ended up taunting Elias. Elias was shown trying to climb back up the perch, and Corbin ended up using his scepter to knock Elias down to the floor. So Elias then falls from the perch and is laid out on the floor below. Officials was shown running over. They end up calling for help to come and assist for Elias. Now it's basically that, but I don't give a shit about this match happening at WrestleMania. Who cares to see Elias versus Corbin? I don't. This match should be on a house show card, not on a WrestleMania card. This is just WWE trying to fill the WrestleMania card out. They're just basically throwing random matches because they probably know WrestleMania is going to be a failure. Then we went to Asuka versus Alexa Bliss. And you had Nikki Cross on commentary here. And she was really funny on commentary. I enjoyed her commentary throughout this match. And her commentary was better than the match itself. So, Alexa ended up winning the match. She ended up hitting a DDT to Asuka. So there you go. Alexa ended up winning the match. Alexa Bliss ended up winning the match. Yeah, that's how much I cared about this match. I cared about hearing Nikki Cross on commentary than the match. And then we saw the rerun match from WrestleMania 32. Roman versus Triple H. Which, Triple H was the champion at that time. Roman ended up defeating Triple H at that WrestleMania, became the WWE World Heavyweight Champion. And I liked Triple H's entrance for that WrestleMania, where the guys that were shown on stage, they were all wearing the skull mask. And you had Stephanie at the at the top. She was giving like this speech, which was pretty cool. But we had that. But why did they, like I said, why did they decide to have or to show this match tonight when WrestleMania 32, the full show is going to be on ESPN this Sunday? Doesn't make any sense. WWE being lazy once again. Instead of showing rerun matches, just put some matches on the show. It could be against whoever. So now, after we saw that rerun match, Triple H was shown. And Michael Cole was asking Triple H on a prediction on Roman versus Goldberg at WrestleMania. And WWE is hyping this up when they couldn't edit or make a statement saying that Roman backed out of WrestleMania. This show was pre-taped, so you're telling me that WWE was lazy to edit this out, considering that Roman backed out of WrestleMania? So Triple H ended up talking about how both men bring major intensity in the ring, but different kinds. Triple H ended up saying Reigns' intensity increases as the match goes on. And if the match goes quick, he believes Goldberg will win. And he says, but if it goes long and Roman can withstand Goldberg, then Roman will build and build until Goldberg runs out of gas, and Roman will win the title. So that's what Triple H had to say. But the match is not happening now. They could have edited this whole thing out. But you know what? WWE was lazy and not to give a statement. And then we saw Dolph Ziggler. He was with Sonya Deville backstage. Dolph Ziggler was talking about what Heavy Machinery did earlier, where Otis and Tucker end up trying to come at Dolph. Officials were holding them back. So Mandy Rose ended up walking up, and she ended up saying hi to Dolph and Sonya. Sonya then left to handle some business. Mandy Rose ended up asking Dolph why he's doing all this to Otis. Dolph ends up telling Mandy that Otis deserves it. So Mandy Rose ended up asking Dolph if he really had to rub the photos in. And she also said that she's all for their match at WrestleMania. She's all in for Dolph and Otis' match. And she ends up saying that she refuses to let them fight over her. So Dolph ends up walking off, has arm around Mandy. That was basically that. And then we went to the Firefly Funhouse. We had a Firefly Funhouse episode tonight. And really liked this Firefly Funhouse tonight. Sorry about that, but I was saying I really like this Firefly Funhouse that we saw tonight. Bray Wyatt welcomes us to the Firefly Funhouse. He ended up saying that he's super excited to see us. And we also saw the head lantern there, which was cool. So Bray Wyatt ends up telling the head lantern to shut up because it had its chance and it failed against John Cena. Bray Wyatt ended up saying that he won't fail, meaning the Fiend. So then we saw Abby the Witch. She was speaking and asked Bray Wyatt if he now has the secret recipe to defeat John Cena. So Bray Wyatt ended up pulling out a blender. And there was all these different ingredients that were there. There was like hot sauce, disappointment, rage, and resentment as all the ingredients. So Ramblin' Rabbit then appeared, had a carrot that will help Bray Wyatt see John Cena. So Bray Wyatt ended up grabbing Ramblin' Rabbit. He says this is what he was missing. Some irrelevant opinions. So it was shown that Bray Wyatt added Ramblin' Rabbit to the blender. So Ramblin' Rabbit was in the blender. Ramblin' Rabbit was heard pleading to Bray Wyatt. And Bray Wyatt laughs. He blends the smoothie up with Ramblin' Rabbit inside of it. Of course, Ramblin' Rabbit is the new Kenny from South Park, as shown from these Firefly Funhouses. So it's like Ramblin' Rabbit's the new Kenny. So Bray Wyatt ends up saying that he's created the perfect smoothie for him, the Fiend, to defeat John Cena at WrestleMania. So Bray Wyatt ends up saying that John Cena deserves a WrestleMania match that's not ordinary, especially since he, the Fiend, is anything but ordinary. He says he wants the Fiend wants Cena to step into their world. And Bray Wyatt ends up saying that the Fiend is now challenging Cena to a Firefly Funhouse match. So Bray Wyatt ends up drinking the smoothie. And he says there is just one nasty side effect. And so Bray Wyatt was shown staring at the camera. The Fiend ended up flashing across the screen. Man, that was basically how the Firefly Funhouse ended. But really enjoyed this Firefly Funhouse. Very enjoyable, in my opinion. Possibly the only good thing on Smackdown tonight. So then we saw the New Day versus the Usos. The winner of the match will get to face The Miz and John Morrison for the SmackDown Tag Team titles at WrestleMania. And, you know, we've seen the New Day and the Usos. What was this, like the 1,000th match that we saw the New Day and the Usos have? And The Miz and John Morrison were out there on commentary during the match. But what can you expect? Nothing new happened in this match. We've seen the New Day and the Usos many times before. So the match ended in a disqualification. The New Day wins by disqualification because The Miz and John Morrison ended up attacking Big E. After the match, John Morrison and The Miz were bringing the New Day and the Usos into the ring. Miz and John Morrison end up beating them up. Referee ends up telling them to break it up. And Michael Cole stood up. He got on the mic. He ended up telling The Miz and John Morrison that he has breaking news from WWE officials. So Michael Cole then announced that it will be The Miz and John Morrison versus the New Day versus the Usos at WrestleMania. The titles will be on the line, and it will be a triple threat ladder match. So The Miz and John Morrison, were mad about that. So the New Day ends up taking out The Miz and John Morrison. The Usos were, out on the floor. And that was basically that. That was how SmackDown went off the air. But like I said, the New Day versus the Usos here. Match ended in a disqualification. I mean, I've seen the New Day and the Usos go at it so many times. And now at WrestleMania, it's going to be a triple threat ladder match with Morrison and Miz versus both New Day and the Usos. So, we'll see how that goes. Prediction right here, the Miz and Morrison are going to retain. But anyways, that was SmackDown tonight. But anyways, that's it for the SmackDown review, Friday Night SmackDown review. Thank you all for watching. Hope you all enjoyed this review. And definitely give the video a thumbs up, comment, subscribe. And until next video, I'll see you all later.